So, the Sonic Racing CrossWorlds trailer has dropped. We now have the full picture of what we can expect from this game, and it is pretty much half what I expected, but also I had no idea when they said CrossWorlds that the storybook games were on the table, to revisit. So to see Dinosaur Jungle again, even with a very different art style that I almost didn't recognize it at first, but it was very cool. And this game looks amazing. Visually, the music sounds great. The trailer just really captured this vibe that I haven't felt from a Sonic racing game in a long time, and it just feels really exciting. Seeing Jet on the Extreme Gear was like, oh my god, yes, just confirmed that my theory was partially true in the sense that the Extreme Gear were going to be an option, or something you can unlock. I don't know how they're going to handle it, but that is beyond amazing, because I was always worried that the Riders franchise was always going to die off, like that sub-franchise, and so I'm really happy to see that at least the Extreme Gear is back. At least they're not abandoning that aspect. At least some part of Riders will continue to live on in the future. Whether that means we'll get a new Riders game or like maybe a Riders remake somewhere down the line if this does well, who knows? But that's really aside from the point, which is that this game just looks so incredible and will please some of those Riders fans who have been starving for something, all these years. Which I include myself in that category because I definitely grew up with games like Sonic R and Sonic Riders, and yes, like the All-Stars games are much better games in my opinion, but I think Riders and R were much more in line with what you would expect from a Sonic racing game and what fits the character more than him being in a car, right? But R doesn't make sense, right? Because if Sonic really wanted to, he could outrun everyone tenfold, right? So that has its own flaw. And then the Extreme Gear is just very futuristic and stylized and maybe could be a little restrictive. And I understand that they want all the games to have the same art style and have the same look, I think, going forward with these next 10 years of Sonic. So I think that would make sense that they wouldn't just go back to a Riders aesthetic out of nowhere. I think we're sort of done with the aesthetic hopping sort of era of Sonic that seems to have existed around the early 2000s. I think we're done with all that now. I think we're going in a direction that's much more concrete, and no matter if you're playing a racing game or a fighting game or watching an animated show, there has to be some level of consistency that, these all feel like the same universe, the same character. That's what they wanted to do with Prime. And the fact that we have Prime to be confirmed in this game as like skins or something like that, like some of the Prime characters apparently are going to be in here, that's very cool. And why does that make sense? Because Hardlight is the developer of this game, not Sumo Digital. Clearly they're carrying a lot of what Sumo Digital did into the future. So there is some DNA of Sumo Digital still there, I think, in this game, but really it's a Hardlight developed game. That's really cool that they're giving the mobile game developers a chance at this like really big racing game. I'm really happy to see that. But yeah, it just hits so many nostalgic points for me, just like I've really missed Transformed, and so to see that aspect of gameplay come back again, but with just Sonic characters is really exciting. And then the nostalgia for Riders and being able to like pretty much with any character is what I'm assuming is the case. You could just give them their own Extreme Gear and customize it, and oh my god, this is gonna be such a good game. Like, this makes me excited to like play with friends and actually use the multiplayer. I feel like rarely have I actually used the multiplayer in these racing games. Like, I think All-Stars Racing Transformed, I did some multiplayer, but that was a long time ago, it's been a while. So I'm really, really excited to like get into this game, and I've been wanting a new Sonic racing game to really blow me away. And so I'm just so happy with the direction they chose to go in. And yeah, so another thing I wanted to mention, the ring from Shadow Generations that like Shadow uses to go to the movie universe. I think that's what they're kind of going into with CrossWorlds, is that they might be writing something new into the game universe, which is that these rings actually have the ability to take you to other worlds, other universes, and that is really, really cool. And so I'm excited for the implications of what that can mean for a future Sonic story, if like this is going to be something we see in like the Frontier sequel or whatever it is, right? Whatever it is, this mechanic seems to be present moving forward with the series. I mean, if you look at Shadow Generations, the way they transition so smoothly between the different sections of the level mid-level, it's so smooth. And this is clearly the same thing. where it's really smooth transitions to completely different areas, right? It's using the power of the SSD to load things faster, and so that kind of mechanic is clearly perfect for Sonic, so I'm glad they're taking advantage of that and putting it into this. Can't wait to see what this game has in store, especially knowing that we are going to get more content. We could get movie content, like movie-related stuff, and hey, it's CrossWorlds, they can get away with it, right? If we can see Prime characters in here, it's possible we could see movie characters show up. I don't know what car they would be driving. Maybe movie Sonic would be driving Tom's Ford F-150. I don't know. I don't know what the skin would be for that one. But, you know, I'm open to whatever they got. I'm sure we're going to get some really, really cool DLC, more characters added. To think, right, we could see some of the characters that were never in a writer's game actually be able to have their own extreme gear that you can customize is the best. And one thing I'll give TSR is that it had good customization that looked really cool. So I think this will be a natural evolution of that. The golden age continues to give. This is amazing, man. I love it. Every announcement, every game that's announced and I've seen gameplay of, I just know it's going to be good. Anyway, that's all I have to say in this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sonic Doomsday Reimagined Episode 0 will be coming out late March to early April. Could be delayed beyond that because I am moving, so if in that process I just get too busy and I can't reach the deadline, then obviously I'll let you guys know, and the delay wouldn't even be that much. It would probably just be an extra month. It's nearing the end stages of development, I'll just say that. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out, creators.